I wish.
How hard it does.
You want to see the private messages we were sending each other, lad. It's not wise. You couldn't put it on Instagram.
What did I even see?
We'll go up to Kamaka, get a wee quick bite, and then start hitting some sessions.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah, so my name is, everybody kind of knows me as Army, but the real name is Arminas Balavichos. So we will stick with Army, in case people break their tongue.
So my name's Michael Smith, I'm 27 years old and I'm representing Ireland at the CrossFit Games.
So I will be representing a Lithuanian flag at the CrossFit Games, yeah.
It would be coming up now on, if you were to go from November 2019, that would be 5 years, so it's about 4.5 years.
Yeah, I started CrossFit about 5, 6 years ago now, and I train in CrossFit 82 in Mallow.
Realistically, I think it's one of the hardest feats in sport. The main reason, and anybody who's not into sport, the main reason why it is really tough to get to CrossFit Games is we play the sport where you don't know the game. So you don't know the events, you don't know what you're training for. So can you imagine being an athlete and all year long you're trying to train for what you don't know is going to happen. So it's phenomenally hard in that way. The other thing that makes it really difficult is the field that you've got to play against. So in any elite sport, there's a certain amount of elite athletes in that sport. And you know that they're there and they can take points and spots off you or whatever way the competition is formatted. However, in CrossFit, because of the way the Open works and every single person in the world can enter it, it means that people who are really good at one thing, like running or like engine-dominated work or strength work, can also get involved into that, and then they can take points off you. So not only do you have to be well-rounded and be good at all the workouts that you don't know what are, you've got to be good enough to beat the specialists as well, or to finish close enough to the specialists that you don't lose enough points in that race to actually finish top towards going to the games. I think in previous years you've had somewhere like 80 to 90,000 people worldwide entering that. So can you imagine entering something where there's like 80 to 90,000 people in the world who are trying to gain a spot to the CrossFit Games, and there's only 200 spots this year. So it's a phenomenal achievement to even just to get there. Never mind how you finish at it. I've always said, like in a lot of sports, like the Olympics and stuff like that, to get there is a phenomenal achievement and no one can take that away from me. The Olympics is an amazing thing. However, you're competing against a small amount of people who are elites in that sport. You're not really competing against the sub-levels in it. In CrossFit, it's completely different. It's unknown, you don't know the events, and also you don't know the competitors too.
I think since the day I started doing CrossFit, obviously we watched so many videos of Rich Froning and all the games and stuff, and that was the main goal for any competitive CrossFit, I think, is to make it to the CrossFit Games, no matter what the consequences are. I know people say, oh, you might have had a hand you're making through as a national champion. Obviously it would have been harder to win the regionals, but look, it is what it is. I didn't make the rules, and yeah, 100% I'm excited. So that was always the goal. We'll get to experience it and we'll see how we do.
It's sort of like, it's a slow enough progression in terms of that, because when you start out as a recreational athlete, you're just doing it for the fun of it. You're going in after work or after uni in the evenings just to hit a session with the boys, have a bit of crack. But as time went on and the more competitions you do, and then maybe getting lucky and winning a few competitions, you then just sort of set the bar a wee bit higher each time. So the Open last year was the first real indication. The Open 2018, where I came 21st in Europe Central, that was a big wake-up call to say, listen, you're one spot out here from making it to regionals. So the goal then for the following year was, right, I want to be in that top 20 going into the 2019 European regionals. So what happened is then the format changed going into 2019. So the goal then became to become first in Ireland, our national champ. So that was a good battle.
I suppose physically it obviously affects the body in a different way. There's a lot more abuse because of the amount of stuff these guys have to do. You know, they've got to be really good at running, swimming, now biking they've got to be good at. You know, they've got to be good at all their gymnastic movements, walking on their hand. They've got to be good at Olympic lift movements. And any one of these sports in itself is quite tough on the body. And then you combine it and you put it together and you try and make the athlete as good as possible at all these different things. I think mentally, I think it's probably the same amount of toughness. I mean, anybody at any elite level sport, I think, has something up here a little bit missing in terms of, you know, they want to push, and you know, the athletes I've worked with, the ones who do the best and the ones who have made it to the games and regionals and, you know, get that far, when the workout gets harder, they seem to push harder. The normal person backs off because that's uncomfortable and that's not what they want to do. These elites, and I think that's across every sport, not just CrossFit, it gets tougher and they're like, yeah, let's bring it on, I want more. And that's what sets them out.
Competing is something I always enjoyed. I could never train just to train. I was always trained to compete. Everything's a competition with me. I can't even let Lisa win a game of bowling, so. No, look, obviously you might have small little butterflies just as you start, like, but no, definitely there's no nerves. It's more excitement than anything.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for it. Everyone's saying, are you nervous or whatever, but I'm actually not. It's more so I'm glad that I've made it now, and I'm gonna train hard for it. I'm definitely gonna show up and try and do my best, but I'm gonna make sure I enjoy it because you just never know whether you'll be back ever again. So you can't take it too serious, I don't think, going all the way out there. I'll just be embracing every moment, like, and give them a wee nudge maybe for the crowds, you know. Have a bit of crack with them boys. You'll be watching them on YouTube all the time, like, and they usually they take themselves serious in terms of their training, but they can have a bit of crack as well. So I'm not going to be standing there afraid not to say anything to them or have a bit of crack with them. So I'll definitely try and get a few rises maybe. I did a few wee competitions throughout the year, but nothing really that was going to give you an indication of where you're going to be at. But once the Open hit the first WOD, straight away you sort of knew, right, it's going to be a dogfight for the next 5 weeks between me and all the guys that have already been to regionals, Army, Jamie Heaton, Sam Stewart, even all the other top athletes in Ireland. You knew it was going to be a dogfight. So I've been in your waters.
Yeah, so at the moment, the last maybe 2 months or so, it's been kind of more working on skill and weightlifting, trying to get the numbers up as high as we can. So it was going to be more volume than intensity. Now, slowly but surely, the intensity will creep up because I have a competition coming up in 2 or 3 weeks' time at the Irish Fitness Championships. So yeah, I think the next kind of month and a half, the intensity will creep up and hopefully we'll kind of hit that peak at the right time just before the games.
I would say the increase in volume is definitely hard now in the training. You know, it's a lot different than the Open, where you're focusing in on trying to apply as much intensity into one single session a week, okay, and then recovering to come back around and hit another week is just as hard as the first one. But now it's more so about how much volume can you get into your day, how much can you recover from that to be able to maintain that over the space of weeks at a time before you're pulling back and recovering for maybe a back-off week, so to speak. So what's happening now is we're doing a lot more stuff outdoors. So we're biking, we're swimming outdoors, running a lot. We're doing a lot of strongman type stuff now as well. So odd objects, you know, stuff that you wouldn't usually do in your normal CrossFit style training, okay? And then obviously there's the real CrossFit style workouts where there is heavy barbells and high skill gymnastics. That's the stuff that I am fairly confident that I can do well at anyway. I would move a heavy barbell well and do all the gymnastics, walk on my hands, walk over the ramp and so on. But you need to be ready for them things that can be thrown at you outside the box.
Look, like I said, I competed against regional athletes, games athletes before. If I got there that far, it means I was good enough, so yeah.
Do you reckon you can beat them boys if they're going side by side with you?
If the workout suits me, I don't see why not. So,
Go for it.
huh?
Go for it.
Oh, chalk it down.
He's got a kind of, if any other sport, the amount of training that he's doing, that would be classed as their kind of, that training would be classed as their full-time job as well, which they're getting paid for. So he's kind of running, like, working two worlds. And for him to do that and success and like make it to the CrossFit Games, and yeah, it's a pretty huge achievement for that.